My name is Bamibelu Ademola Uriga, award-winning photojournalist. Welcome to my podcast. And today I have a big fish. I have an international chess master, Odion Aikhoje. Good day, Mr. Odion. Welcome to my show.
Yeah, how you doing?
I'm fine. It's a pleasure having you. And before I begin to throw my question or whatever I need to throw at you, can you please tell the world in 2 minutes your name and something about yourself?
Well, like you already mentioned,
Yes, I've already met because I know you.
yeah,
Let the world know you by themselves.
yeah, my name is Odion Aikhoje,
Okay.
International Master of Chess, all-round sportsman. I think that's just it in a nutshell.
An administrator.
Well, yes, one or two other things that I get up to keep myself busy.
Yeah, definitely. That's good. Yeah, it's a pleasure having you.
Thank
Now
you.
let's go straight to the point. I've known you for a while and I know a little bit of what you do. I know you do more than what I know about you. I mean, being a good friend and being somebody who around there. The world knows the world knows something about you, but they want to know more. And I'm going to be throwing questions at you. First, let me ask you my question. The first question is the growth of chess in Nigeria. How can you describe it?
Well, I would say it's come in leaps and bounds over the years, all the way back from the middle to late 70s when chess was first introduced officially into the country. And now, about 50 years later, I can say that chess is firmly established as one of the premium activities in Nigeria.
Now, as one of the pioneer of chess education in schools, because I remember you being pioneer doing this, talk about how to bring chess to kids while they're in school at the early age. What is your assessment so far?
Well, the status of chess in schools is, how do I say, it's still in its infancy. I put it like that because we have one or two people who are on their own, carrying out this activity, teaching chess, going to schools, introducing to games masters and to school administrators, something that they'll be proposing that it should go into their curriculum as kind of like an extracurricular activity. But it's not yet officially established that chess needs to be in schools. There are one or two
Why?
countries
Why?
around the world. Well, it's it's difficult to get new subjects into the curriculum, and also it has to have a structure. So bringing chess in, it has to first of all be defined as a subject. There has to be a particular way it can be taught, it can be assessed. For now, it's still seen as a game, and I think that's just the main difficulty. The World Chess Federation, FIDE, has been working hard on trying to create a standardized product so that when it's taken to ministries or departments of education around the world, they can then say, okay, this is the subject, this is how it will be taught, and this is how it will be assessed.
Wow. So my next question is still hanging around the issue about schools and chess. Now, there are some schools that teach chess as a subject, and there are so many out of even none of the kind of volume of the schools that we have been expected to be dealing with chess. They teach it as as a curriculum, like once in a week. These children will just register for it if they like or if they like. Do you think it's worth it to teach chess as a subject in schools?
Well, as I said previously, the World Chess Federation is the one that has the responsibility of defining, first of all, whether it can be taught as a subject and how it will be taught as a subject. Because chess in itself um, is about the game. You play the game, you understand the strategies. But most subjects have intrinsic value beyond the game or beyond the activity itself. For example, mathematics,
Okay.
when it's taught, has real world applications. Physics, chemistry, science, anything at all like that. So chess, I would say for it to become properly entrenched as a subject,
Okay.
there have to be other aspects of the game, other things it teaches apart from playing the game
That you should
itself.
get involved.
Exactly. So it's not just about playing the game, it's about other benefits, for example, logical thinking, deductive reasoning, decision making. Those things need to be incorporated before chess can be properly embraced as a subject, in my view.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you. Now let's look at parents. Do you think parents need more awareness? Because in like the olden days, people come across chess and they play it. Nowadays, you see at schools, in different environment, parents has to involve in bringing their kids towards, the game of chess. How do you think we can do the awareness about letting the parents know much and the benefits of chess?
Well, one thing I have always advocated for is that when we have chess occasions, chess gatherings, chess competitions, then we need to have like seminars,
Okay.
expositions where the general audience, including parents, are taught or they are told about the benefits that
Yeah,
chess
yeah,
can
yeah,
bring.
yeah.
So when people see these seminars, when they see these programs, then they can be more encouraged to take their children to chess competitions and also to chess academies where they can learn more about chess. So I think the onus is more on organizers of chess
Okay.
to spread the word and to tell all of these parents, tell people who are not involved already in chess about the benefits that
Okay.
their children and they themselves can get from participating in chess.
That reminds me, there was a particular kid that came to one of our academy, and she came with her mom, and the mother has to also register. After the normal class, she did like maybe 1 or 2 hours, and that's good. So let's go on. Now let's move away from the kids and the academy, the school, the involvement, chess education, all stuff. Let's talk about your journey into chess. How did you start?
Well, um, I grew up in an environment that was kind of like uh, cosmopolitan. I think that's the easiest way of putting
Okay.
it. It was kind of like this environment where we had access to all sorts of um, cultural influences, local, international.
Okay.
For example, one of my very good friends when I was growing up had a Canadian mother and a Nigerian father. So with friends like this, we had access to games and all sorts of books and things which were the same that people all around the world had access to. So growing up, I had access to different kinds of games like Monopoly, Cluedo. Chess was just one of those many games. It was one of those activities that I used to engage in,
Okay.
and books, cartoons. But somehow the game of chess was something that I developed an interest in when I was a little boy, and incidentally, when I got to my secondary school, I encountered a chess club over there, uh, in Federal Government College, and that kind of like spurred me on my journey towards getting more involved in the game.
Okay.
By the time I finished secondary school, when I got into university, I met a thriving chess community there. So I met different people and groups along the way that deepened my interest in chess.
So that's how you got started.
Yeah,
But
that's how I got
so
involved.
let me ask you, what were your parents' view then? They must have seen you play chess, and for them maybe something strange, not like you. That you are adventurous. You want to get involved in things our friends are doing, particularly the Canadian friends. What are your parents' view?
Well, like I said, because we grew up in a very cosmopolitan society, we were kind of like all these things were seen as part of normal activities that
Okay.
children would get involved
Okay.
with. So it wasn't strange to my parents. My parents also were well traveled.
Mm.
In fact, my mom ran a school for children, and we had lots of games and activities similar to what anybody would have in an international environment. So it wasn't seen as out of the place to be
Okay.
involved in different games and activities because these were just like regular pastimes that children would get involved in.
Okay. Okay. Now let's go to another question, and the question is, how did you represent Nigeria?
Well, that's an interesting one. So when I picked up the game while in university,
Okay.
from there I
As a University of Ibadan.
University of Ibadan, yes, I
Okay.
became involved in the chess community, and I also got to know that there were competitions taking place around the country,
Okay.
notably Lagos and also Ibadan. Also, there were competitions as far as Port Harcourt.
Yes.
When I got involved in these competitions, I realized that I had an aptitude for the game. As such, I came to the notice of those at the national level,
Okay.
and they felt that I was somebody that had the potential to become a part of the national team.
Mm.
So, as far back as 1990, 1991, I was getting involved in national camp
Okay.
to try out for the national team. And I think by 1993, I had my first opportunity to become a part of the national team. So that was when I got the opportunity to represent Nigeria.
Yeah. Okay.
first of all, and from there, it just kept on moving on
Just
leaps and
what
bounds.
was your first game, and which country did you play against?
Funny enough, my first international event was in Nigeria here,
Okay.
and that was the zonal competition. We had the zonal competition, which was hosted by Aikhoje Hotel in Lagos,
Okay.
and there were 6 African countries involved, and Nigeria, Ethiopia, Egypt, one or two other countries I can't really remember. And in that competition, I I scored 4.5 points from 9, and I was able to acquire the title of FIDE Master of Chess.
Oh, at that first event?
Yes, that was in 1994 in Lagos.
Wow, wow.
Then after that, my first international where I traveled out of the country was in 1997 in Egypt, where I represented Nigeria at the African Team Championships, and
Okay.
I won a bronze medal on my board, but 2.
Wow. Can you mention any of your teammates at that time?
Well, of course, Fola, Akintola,
I'm still coming over there because I know
Adu,
Abadu,
Bayo Babalola,
Bayo Babalala, okay.
Rotimi Dasaolu.
Dashe,
Yes, so,
okay, I know they are your contemporary in chess, I know a lot of them. So, okay, now let's go to the first African to pick a gold medal at Olympic. Wow. How do you feel?
Well, it was just one of those things, incidentally, because somehow my career in chess, I just had this natural talent for it. So success just came naturally. My first ever competition, I tied for first position. Second competition, I won. So winning was kind of like natural for me. So it didn't really sink in
Okay.
what I had achieved.
Mm.
Way back in 1998, it didn't really sink in until much later that yes, I had been able to win World Chess Olympiad gold.
Wow, wow. I'm still coming there. Now, how did you manage the euphoria?
Well,
It's a big thing though.
unfortunately, there were a lot of circumstances around that particular event that meant it was difficult to celebrate properly.
Mm.
For example, even after realizing I had won the gold, due to our travel arrangements, we had to leave the venue.
Yeah, because I read it that you missed the presentation.
Yes, so we had to leave before the closing ceremony.
Why? Is it because of the arrangement or because the nation didn't know the value of what you just achieved, that to audibly get out of that place is what concerns them most?
You see, the World Chess Olympiad is separate from the main Olympics. We have it every 2 years. So what that means is that the federation over the years had always been the one responsible for most of the bills. Of course, the government will always intervene, but if you don't have the main Olympics where all the sports are involved, generally you don't have as much interest. So what that means is that most times when Nigeria travels for the Olympiad, we tend to stay the minimum number of days. So let's say, for example, the Olympiad is 2 weeks. We normally have our tickets booked for exactly 14 days. Whereas normally, even though the competition is 2 weeks, you will allow for 1 day extra for arrival and 1 day extra for departure. So in this case, our tickets have been booked such that we will depart the final day of the event. It wasn't projected that somebody would win, and as such, we have to wait until the night of the event, and the presentation was in the night of the final day.
But so they make a proper arrangement, looking at the pedigree of what you have achieved.
Actually, we did try in 1998. We did try. There were efforts made to see if I could extend my own ticket so that I could stay behind to receive it. But the travel arrangements were quite complicated because it was the competition was being held in one of the Russian republics. Elista. So even after arriving in Moscow, we still traveled another 2 hours by flight within Russia to get to the Russian Republic. So the process was complicated. At the end of the day, what we decided was that Nigeria had a representative at the World Chess Federation then, Mr. Emmanuel Umuku, Barrister Emmanuel Umuku, that he would then collect the medal on my behalf and send it to Nigeria with a note for the minister in Nigeria to present to me officially in the country.
Wow, that's